The Indiana Fever may have just flipped the WNBA on its head after a major starting five leak that's got everyone buzzing. Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Mitchell, DeWanna Bonner, Natasha Howard, and Aaliyah Boston. Yes, that's the projected lineup. We're talking 5 All-Stars here. The past 2 Rookie of the Year winners and 3 players on max contracts, all sharing the court. And trust me, we're just getting started. Stick around because we're diving into all the different lineup combos the Fever could use, and why every other team should be watching closely. This squad doesn't just have 5 stars. They've got 9 players who could legitimately start depending on the matchup. And later on, Stephanie White reveals the type of offense she plans to run to manage all this talent. And yeah, this is apparently what it's going to be. Caitlin Clark at the 1, Kelsey Mitchell at the 2, DeWanna at the 3, Natasha at the 4, and Aaliyah Boss at the 5. Obviously. So, what does this monster of a lineup mean for the rest of the WNBA? And how will chemistry develop when you've got this much talent in one locker room? Believe it or not, the real headline might be Sophie Cunningham's unexpected reaction to her new role, one that signals this team might finally have cracked the championship code. But first, let's break down what makes this particular 5 so unique, because in order for the Fever to achieve the goals that they have in front of them, everyone is going to need to buy into their role, and it's up to Stephanie White to put the best lineups out there, the best lineup combinations, and all of that. I took a stab at projecting what the starting 5 will be, and it's, not a huge leap, but obviously Caitlin Clark's going to be the point guard. It all starts with Caitlin Clark, the generational player whose vision and unlimited shooting range are already reshaping how the game is played. She sees passing lanes before they even open, and people say she needs to be guarded the moment she enters the gym. Next to her is Kelsey Mitchell, one of the most dynamic scorers in the league, putting up over 19 points a game last season with her ability to generate shots against anyone. Kelsey Mitchell, the shooting guard, the most potent backcourt in the WNBA. I think DeWanna Bonner will be the Swiss Army knife kind of player at the 3. Then we've got DeWanna Bonner, bringing championship experience and length at 6'4", that makes her a walking matchup nightmare on offense and defense. Add Natasha Howard, a defensive force who thrives in transition and knows how to execute in pick-and-roll situations. And of course, anchoring the post is 2023 Rookie of the Year, Aaliyah Boston. Her footwork, strength, and high IQ in the paint make her a problem for anyone trying to defend her. Natasha Howard fills that hole that they had at power forward, especially they were lacking somebody who could run the floor, catch and finish. Aaliyah Boston is the center who doesn't hunt for shots but can be a key cog on both ends. This lineup works like a symphony. Every player complements the others. The floor spacing will be a nightmare for opposing defenses. Try doubling Clark. Mitchell will make you pay. Focus on the perimeter. Boston goes to work inside. Collapse on the inside. Clark, Mitchell, Howard, and Bonner can all hit threes. The blend of scoring, playmaking, and defense makes this starting 5 nearly impossible to guard straight up. And let's not overlook the budding connection between Clark and Boston. These two could become the WNBA's most dangerous young duo. Boston's screens and rim rolls combined with Clark's laser-guided passes. That's a highlight reel waiting to happen. Their chemistry is only going to grow, and they've already got the tools to be one of the best tandems we've seen in years. Don't take it from me, even Stephanie White is singing their praises, already calling them a future all-time duo. When you think about the great point guards and post players that our game, not just our league, but our game has seen, they are going to go in history as the greatest. And I'm excited about the opportunity to work with them. I'm excited about the opportunity that we have to build from those starting points and build out, and for the longevity that those two could have in Indiana, in Indianapolis, and hanging banners in this building. Together, this group of 5 brings over 80 points per game from last season. With Clark orchestrating the offense, expect everyone's efficiency to rise. The Las Vegas Aces and New York Liberty should take note. The Aces' smaller lineup may get punished inside, and the Liberty's defensive rotations will be stretched trying to cover all 5 weapons. This isn't a build-for-the-future team anymore. The Fever are trying to win right now. Be Cunningham, the first player off the bench to provide lineup versatility and shooting. Either way, There are a lot of options, but don't sleep on what might be Indiana's biggest X factors. Sophie Cunningham and Lexi Hull. Sophie's response to coming off the bench: pure class. No ego, no frustration, just excitement to support Clark and contribute however she can. That's not just rare in professional sports. Think about it. How many times have we seen veterans fight against a bench role? Allen Iverson refused it with Memphis and walked away from the game. Carmelo Anthony clashed with the Rockets when his role didn't match his expectations. In contrast, Cunningham's complete buy-in could be the culture glue that holds this team together. It's a sacrifice that may end up being the key to their success. Championship-caliber teams are built on more than just talent. They're fueled by players who fully embrace their roles. And that's exactly what makes Sophie Cunningham so valuable to the Indiana Fever. Her unselfish mindset signals a major cultural shift happening in Indiana, one where personal stats take a backseat to team success. It's the kind of attitude head coach Stephanie White needs to take this collection of stars and mold them into a true title contender. Cunningham's ability to guard multiple positions, shoot from deep, and bring relentless energy off the bench gives Indiana an edge most teams don't have. As the projected sixth woman, she brings the kind of skill that could easily be starting on other teams. But instead of pushing for the spotlight, she's laser-focused on what helps the Fever win. That kind of self-awareness and maturity is rare and essential for any team with championship aspirations. And then there's Lexi Hull, who was relied upon a little bit too much a season ago. Lexi's a little undersized to guard some of the players that she had to guard, and would get in foul trouble, and when she got in foul trouble, it was really debilitating for the team. Now I think she can bring that energy all the time and not have to worry about the foul trouble because of the lineup versatility that they have. For Lexi, the key is, can she continue to hit at the clip from three that she did the second half of last season, and she's got to get better at finishing around the cup. I mean, that's an area of improvement. Lexi Hull adds even more firepower to the bench unit. She's a gritty defender who brings full court pressure and never takes a play off. Need someone to shut down an opponent's top scorer? Hull's your answer. Need someone to space the floor? She quietly led the entire WNBA in three-point shooting percentage last season. Whether it's hitting a timely corner three or diving for a loose ball, Hull's contributions aren't flashy. Then there's Brianna Turner, the unsung hero of Indiana's interior game. She's not someone you'll see taking over on the scoreboard, but her ability to set brutal screens and finish plays in traffic makes her a perfect complement to playmakers like Caitlin Clark. With so much attention drawn to shooters on the perimeter, Turner becomes a key finisher in the paint, capitalizing on all the space that Clark's gravity creates. Meanwhile, Lexi Hull and Brianna Turner form a defensive duo that keeps Indiana's energy up when the starters rest. Hull's hustle keeps the tempo high, while Turner protects the rim and cleans up the glass. They're the glue players every successful team needs, doing the dirty work, staying locked in, and making sure there's no drop-off in intensity when the bench comes in. Colson maybe plays a little bit more than we figured because Clark will get spelled a bit more often this season, I would imagine. I also could see some Clark-Colson two-guard lineups out there at times to let Clark play off the ball a little bit more, to let Colson apply defensive pressure. Let's not forget Sydney Colson either. With a demanding sophomore campaign ahead for Clark, Colson's presence gives the Fever a calming, experienced voice to steady the ship. Her leadership ensures the offense doesn't miss a beat when Clark takes a breather. She knows how to manage the clock, direct traffic, and keep everyone involved. What really separates this Indiana Fever squad, though, is the way their bench mirrors their starters. The playing style stays consistent, the pressure doesn't let up, and the opponents don't get a break. That kind of non-stop intensity is incredibly rare in the WNBA, and it turns close games into blowout wins by the fourth quarter. Now let's talk about something revolutionary: how the Fever plan to use Caitlin Clark this season. Forget everything you know about how point guards are traditionally used in the WNBA. Indiana's not running the usual setup where the floor general stands at the top of the key and calls out plays. Nope, they're taking a page out of Golden State's Steph Curry playbook and putting Clark in constant motion. what did Stephanie White have to say about how she'll manage the offense? So I also want our players to use their instincts and to play free. We want to make plays, not run plays, right? We want to have sets that give us certain spacing that we want, depending upon our rotations, who's on the floor, who we want to attack, what matchups we want to get to, how can we manipulate them. So we'll have certain play calls that just give us space to operate, and then whichever play we make, whichever pass we make, determines, one of three actions that our players can read from. And so really giving them the freedom to play within a system. Picture this. Instead of slowing things down, Clark passes the ball and immediately darts around screens, cuts back door, and relocates to unpredictable spots. It's organized chaos. Defenders are spinning in circles trying to keep up with a shooter who can pull from 30 feet with ease. We're talking full court cardio just to stay in front of her. It's not just clever, it's devastating. Defenses in the WNBA are built to handle standard playmakers, not this type of dynamic, free-flowing movement. And with teammates like Natasha Howard and Dawana Bonner, who excel in transition and cutting to the rim, the system becomes nearly impossible to stop. Defenders can't leave Clark, but if they stay glued to her, they give up easy looks inside. What the Fever really needed last year, they got killed on the boards at times, they got killed defensively at times, they lacked a little bit of toughness and oomph, and I think, collectively, the new players fill that mold. I mean, they got players that have been around the block. Sophie is tough and tenacious. That Dawana Bonner has been in every situation imaginable, right? So all of that, it is huge. Same with Howard. That experience, that's something Sidney Colson talked about, who also has the experience. Everybody that is coming in is having the experience, and it's not often you see such a drastic overhaul, and it gets even trickier. When Clark moves through the paint, Howard and Bonner time their cuts to perfection. If defenders switch or hedge, they're punished immediately. And let's not forget Hull and Cunningham, lethal shooters who space the floor and punish any help defense that dares to sag. I basically said there were four reliable players. In Clark, Mitchell, Boston, and Hull, everybody around that has been reconfigured, and the coach. And the coach has familiarity with Bonner. She also has familiarity with how to guard Caitlin Clark. Together, the Indiana Fever's offensive system isn't just effective, it's downright scary. This is no ordinary lineup. It's 5 real scoring threats all moving in sync, constantly switching spots, and capitalizing on every defensive mistake. Simple pick and rolls. Now they turn into unpredictable actions with 3 or more scoring options. Basic dribble handoffs. They evolve into sudden backdoor cuts and surprise drives. Every piece of this offense is tailored for versatility and chaos, and defenses won't know what hit them. But while fans are salivating over the new scheme, one curious roster move has gone largely unnoticed, and it might be more important than people realize. That's the unexpected exit of Temi Fagbenle. Anyone paying attention saw Temi in team photos with Coach Stephanie White during off-season workouts. Normally, that's a clear signal a player is part of the plan. Even more puzzling, Temi started in the playoffs last season and played a critical role in both defense and rim running. So when the Fever submitted their protected list for the expansion draft, and Temi wasn't on it, despite having 6 available slots, heads turned. Do we not remember? With Temi, do we not remember they had a picture of Stephanie White with 6 players, and they were allowed to protect 6 players, and it was Temi as one of the 6? Do we not remember that? Turns out they protected Dantas instead of Temi. Instead, Indiana chose to protect Damiris Dantas. So what gives? Dantas is a quality player, no doubt, but Fagbenle seemed like the ideal front-court partner for Clark, providing rim pressure, defensive stability, and experience. Her ability to run the floor and finish lobs made her an excellent fit for the fast-paced, spacing-heavy offense the Fever are building. Here is what might really be happening. Indiana's front office is playing chess, not checkers. Choosing Dantas might be part of a broader strategic plan, whether it's unlocking new offensive looks, exploring trade opportunities, or simply diversifying skill sets within the second unit. Don't be surprised if there's a ripple effect from this decision that leads to another roster shakeup or mid-season pickup.